Okay, say I want to open an application or a program in my computer using JAWS. So how would I do that? There are actually several different ways, and one way to do that is to go to the desktop environment by pressing Windows key plus letter D.
Windows D, folder view list view, open broadcaster software.
Then I could simply use the arrow keys to move around each icon, or I could simply press the first letter of the program that I want to access.
iTunes. Internet Explorer.
Then press the enter key to activate
Enter.
the program.
http://
I could also open an application via the start menu, or for this one, let's try to open a Word document using the run dialog box. So let's press Windows key plus letter R.
Windows R, run dialog, type it.
Then let's type WinWord.
WINWORD.
Then let's press the enter key.
Desktop, folder view list view, Internet Explorer 22 of 36. To move the items, use the arrow keys. To edit the selected item, press F2. Cancel button to activate, press spacebar. Document 1-Microsoft Word, print view.
Maybe at this point, you're
Close button,
wondering,
Microsoft Office activate, space, print view, edit.
paano niya naiintindihan? The speed is too fast, the voice is too robotic. Well, this is something that I use every day. So, this is something that you could get used to. But just to mention, JAWS is highly customizable. You could adjust the speed, the volume, the pitch, and there are a lot of modifications that you could do with JAWS. So let's try to type a sentence.
T H E space Q U I C K space B R O N space.
Notice how the pitch changes when I type something in the uppercase. So basically, that's how I'm able to identify if the letter is in upper or in lowercase.
F O X space J U M E S space O V E T A E L A Z Y space O G.
Now, let's try to read the sentence, but first let me adjust the speed so you guys could understand.
Slower, 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 slower. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
I could also read it by character.
Home, T H E space Q U I C K space B.
Or I could also read it by word.
Quick brown fox jumps over.
And of course, I could also edit and format my documents using JAWS. So let's try to select everything.
Selected. The
And say for instance, we want to format the font or change the font. So let's try to activate the font dialog box.
Control D. Font dialog. Font tab. Fonts italic bold.
Select the changes that we want to apply.
Size 12, 14, 16 tab. Font color.
And then press the enter key to activate the changes.
To activate, press space bar. Font color left parent automatic shift tab. Size edit cop. Print view edit.
And to check if the changes applied, I'm going to use a JAWS command.
Bolded 16 point, black on white.
So it said bolded 16 points. So now let's move to web browsing. Let's go back to the web browser that I opened a while ago.
Alt tab, Google-Internet Explorer, Google-Internet Escape, virtual PC.
When it comes to browsing the web, well, it's a little different. We have what we call navigational keys that we use in order to access different web elements. Say, for example, I could press letter E to move from one form field to the other.
Wrapping the top, search edit.
Or I could press letter B
Google search button
to move from one button to the other. So it said Google search button. I'm feeling lucky button. Or I could press letter H to move from one heading to the other. So there are a lot more navigational keys that we can use in order to browse the web. So let's try to search about accessibility.
Wrapping the top, search edit. Space.
I press letter E and now I press the space bar in order to activate the form. So I could type
ACCESSIEILITY. Enter. Accessibility-Google search. Search edit contains text. Yes button. Page has 4 regions, 17 headings, and 54 links. Accessibility-Google search. Google Apps button collapsed. 0 Google notifications button menu collapsed. Google account Rhea Guntalilib left parent Rhea simply accessible.com right parent button. Heading level 2 like using Google. Switch your settings to always search with Google. No thanks button. Yes button. Heading level 1 link graphic Google search button. Search accessibility edit navigation region all link images link news link videos link books more button menu settings button menu tools button navigation.
So at this point, I'm sure you notice JAWS is so talkative. So JAWS behaves this way. It reads everything that it found on the topmost part of the page and it won't stop reading until the very last content or element that it finds in the bottom part of the page. So what I did, I pressed the control key so that JAWS would pause or JAWS would stop reading the entire page. So since I'm I'm aware that the search results are in headings, I could simply press letter
Search
H.
results heading level 2. Accessibility dash Wikipedia heading level 3 link. People also ask heading level 2.
And to activate or open a particular result, I could just press the enter key. So now it is also through JAWS that I could send, receive, or read emails. So let's try to open one of my work emails.
Control O. Open dialog. Type PNG. M-A-I-L. Period. C-O-M. Enter. Edit available. Type in text. People also ask heading level 2. Simply accessible mail dash inbox. People also ask heading level.
So as I said, I'm using different navigational keys in order to access contents.
Table with 4 columns and 5. Cindy, me left, parent 7, me, Perry, Jeff left, Susan Smith, row 4. Link you have been assigned. Link and add links. Link your thoughts, please.
So basically, this is how I open emails. This is how I read. This is how I reply. But I would no longer demonstrate that. And
Windows D, folder,
yeah, actually, same principle applies when I am accessing several different social media platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and so on and so forth. So basically, that's it.
Alt tab. Simply accessible mail. Alt tab. Document 1 dash alt tab. Profile colon untitled dash tab tab tab. Exit button tab. Plugins but tab. Global source tab. Stop recording button.